Hi teachers, today I'm going to explain about Foundation Level 2 C12 Steer Clear. In this class, students will help Agent 7 to dodge the can. They will be introduced to the concept of debugging and timer. They will also be using the concepts they have learned in the previous class to make the gang member through the cans randomly. By the end of this class, they will create a steer clear game and help Agent 7 to dodge the can attack. Now, there are two blocks which are getting introduced to the students. First is the timer block, which returns the timer's current value. Second is reset timer block, which resets the timer to its original value, which is 0. Teachers, please ensure to use the correct terminologies in the class. Use these vocabularies such as stage, actors, code area, costume, loop, command, and make sure that students are using the right terminologies as well. Now we can start the class using these slides, and we will start the class with the revision of the previous class where they helped Agent 7 to grab the key by avoiding the gang member. Encourage the students to revise all the concepts they have learned in the previous class, and after that you can start with the story narration. So this class has a game which is steer clear. After using the key to escape, Agent 7 moves to another room, and we can see the gang member is still trying to stop Agent 7 from reaching the ring. A thief gang member is trying to hit Agent 7 by throwing cans at him. However, Agent 7 is also trying to dodge those cans. Here comes the explore activity. Teachers, please ask the students to share their screen and start with the explore activity. Ask them to click on the play button, and we can see that Agent 7 is moving with the help of mouse pointer, and gang member is trying to throw cans at him from the random locations. We also have two different kind of timers here in the game as shown on the screen. So allow the students to observe the game carefully, let them explore the game properly, and then ask them what did they observe. So the first observation is that Agent 7 moves left and right with the help of mouse. A thief on the loft moves horizontally and throws can on Agent 7. Agent 7 looks busy when he's getting hit by a can. These are the observations. Now here, if we look at the video, we can see something is definitely wrong. We can see that the gang member is not on the loft anymore. Agent 7 is not walking properly on the floor, and also cans are not moving vertical. So there is a problem with the program. Now there is another explore activity. This is the second explore activity which is supposed to be done by the student to identify the bug in the program. So let's start with it. Here, if we click on the play button, we can see that the gang member is moving vertically instead of horizontally. The agent is not moving at all, and also can is over here on the floor and we can't see the can moving, which means that there is bug in the program and we have to now debug the code. So this class is based on the concept of debugging, and students will learn to identify the bugs and rectify them. After the debug explore activity, we will check the students' observation. So ask them what did they observe. They must have observed that Agent 7 is just stuck in one place and it's not moving at all. Second observation is the gang member is moving vertically instead of moving horizontally on the loft. And the third bug is that the can is just falling and it's just getting stuck in one place. So after students share their observation, tell them that it's common to make mistakes when we are writing a program. We have to just find the errors and we have to debug and fix them. So let's debug the game with their coding skills. There are 4 missions in this class. We will debug Agent 7, then we will debug the gang member. we will fix the can drop, and also we will change the Agent 7's costume. Let's start with the first mission. In the first mission, we can see that as the bug is given, Agent 7 is stuck in one place. However, the expectation is that the Agent 7 should move with the mouse. So now there is a quiz given to check students' understanding from the previous class. Which code block will make the actor move left and right with the mouse pointer? Encourage the student to give the right answer. Here the correct answer is A, mouse X and mouse Y. Now it's time for student activity 1, where they are going to debug Agent 7. So this is student activity 1. In this activity, we will make Agent 7 move with the mouse. Encourage the students to refer to the tutorial and identify the bug and debug them. Here, a question occurs that which block will give us the current X position of the mouse pointer? Out of these two options, let the student answer. The correct answer is option 1, mouse X. Now, to debug this code, we have to ensure that agent is moving along with the mouse pointer. So first of all, we will use the point towards block and we are going to connect it above go to, because wherever the mouse pointer goes, the agent should point towards the mouse. So we will select mouse pointer. Secondly, we want that the agent should have a horizontal movement left and right. So we are going to take mouse X and attach it to the go to block in the X section. Now this is done. Let's try the code. Now we can see that agent is moving along with the mouse pointer, and we can also see that it is pointing towards the mouse. So student activity 1 is done. Always ask the student to click on the save option to ensure that the activity is saved. Now moving ahead, it's time for a quick summary. So allow the student to summarize these concepts because they have learned it in the previous class as well. Here, mouse X code block gives the mouse pointer's horizontal X position. Similarly, mouse Y block gives the mouse pointer's vertical Y position. This block, which is a combination of go to and mouse X and mouse Y, this helps an actor to move across the screen wherever the mouse pointer goes. So if we use this code block, it is going to move an actor to the mouse's X and Y position on the entire stage. Moving on, there is a quick quiz question for the student to check their understanding. For the given code block, which of these three options stands true? So as we can see, it's a combination of go to block, mouse X and Y. So C is the correct answer. Now, what is a bug? A bug is any kind of error or a fault or a mistake in a computer program. When we code, it is all right to make some mistakes or have some errors. What's important is to be able to identify the bug and rectify it. That's known as the process of debugging. So debugging is nothing but fixing the error in the code. So the steps to debug any program is find the bug, fix the bug, test the code to check if it is correctly working. With that, mission 1 is complete. Now let's start with mission 2. In mission 2, we have to debug the thief. So let's understand what went wrong with the thief and try to identify the bug and then fix it. So the thief was moving up and down in vertical direction, wherein it was expected to move left and right on the loft horizontally. So let's try to fix the thief. Here there is a quick question. To move the actor horizontally, which coordinate should be changed? Allow the student to think about it and give the answer. However, the correct answer is X coordinate. Now identify the output which has X coordinate set to random. Over here, the correct answer is B, as the actor is moving horizontally at a random X value. It's time for student activity 2, to debug the gang member. In student activity 2, we have to debug the gang member. In this activity, we will fix the movement of the gang member. Let's start. So here we have a question that identify the correct range for Y position in the pick random to make the gang member move from left to right. So out of these two options, in order to understand which is the correct answer, we can click on this symbol and check the range of Y, which is from minus 384 to plus 384. And that's how option 1 is the correct answer. Now, let's go ahead and debug the gang member. So here, the bug is that gang member is moving vertically, wherein it should move horizontally. So we will simply drag this pick random block and we are going to remove it from Y and we have to attach it to the X section of the go to block. Also, the range for X is different. So we are going to change it to minus 600, which is the left edge, to the right edge, which is 600. Also, now the gang member is going to move randomly from minus 600 to plus 600 value. However, we want the gang member to be fixed on the loft, for which the Y value has to be fixed. So that is going to be 290 as given in the tutorial. That's done. So let's try our code. So we can see that the gang member is now randomly appearing from a range of minus 600 to plus 600 horizontally, and the Y position is fixed at 290. Also, we can see that the agent 7 is following the right movement. So we have done debug for agent 7 and the gang member. We can stop the activity. Let's go ahead. So it's time for a quick summary. So quick summary about the X and Y coordinates. X coordinate is the horizontal position of the actor. By changing the X coordinate, we can move the actor horizontally. Similarly, Y coordinate is the vertical position of the actor. Let's summarize the pick random block. There are some real life examples given here on the slide, like dice roll, spinning a number or color wheel, rock, paper, scissors. These are some of the examples of random because we cannot predict which number will be picked. Similarly, in pick random block, we set a range of number where, for example, if the starting number is 1 and the last number is 10, within this given range from 1 to 10, any number can be picked. And with that, we have completed mission 2. Now let's start with mission 3, which is fix the can drop. Now, when we observed, there was a problem with the can. That can was not dropping from the thief's position. And also, can was falling only once. However, what is expected is that can should drop from the thief's position always and it should fall continuously. So here is a quiz question. Agent 7 needs to go to the center of the stage. Which code block should be used? So here we will use B, go to x0, y0, because at the center of the stage, the value of both the coordinates is 0. Next question, which code block will make the can appear like it is being dropped by the thief? So here the correct answer is go to the thief, because every time the can drops, we are asking the can to go back to the thief so that it can fall again. It's time for third student activity. So in this student activity, we will make the gang member drop the can. As we can see, little bit of coding is already done, where on start, we can see that the can will point towards the bottom edge and it will move towards the bottom edge. When it touches the bottom edge, the can is going to switch the costume to the crushed can. It will wait for a while and then it will switch the costume back to the can. However, what we have to do is we have to ensure that the can is always falling from the position of the gang member. So let's go next. Here is a question that which code block will make an actor go to another actor? So the right answer is go to block. Go to block can help an actor to directly go to another actor. Here we will take this go to block. We will attach it here below on start and we are going to change this to gang member. So on start, the can has to go to the gang member. Once this is done, click on next. We have to use another go to block and we will attach it here below switch to costume, because once the can is crushed and it switches the costume back to the normal can, we want the can to go back to the gang member. So every time it drops the can will go back to the gang member again. Click on next. Let's try the code. So we can see every time the can touches bottom edge, it changes the costume to crushed cans and then it goes back to the gang member. So it's working fine. Okay, let's move further. So it's time for summary again. Go to block sets the position of an actor to a specific position. Now with this, mission 3 is also complete. Now let's start with mission 4, where we have to change Agent 7's costume. So we observed that every time a can hits Agent 7, there is a change in costume because Agent 7 has dizzy stars over the head when the can falls on him. Now, out of the given options, this is a quick quiz question which you have to ask to the student. Identify the correct code block to change the costume of an actor. So here the correct answer is A, switch to costume. Now, what did we observe? Changing the costume can make Agent 7 look dizzy. So costume 1 is where Agent 7 is looking normal. In costume 2, we can see that we have stars over the head and dizzy eyes. So both these, if we play both these costumes together, it gives us an animation effect. Here comes student activity 4. So let's start with it. In this activity, we will explore Agent 7's costume. We will change Agent 7's costume when he gets hit by the can, and also we will stop the game when Agent 7 is hit. So let's start. Here we can see that costume 1 is where Agent 7 looks happy and he's able to escape the cans. Second costume is where we can see Agent 7 is getting hit by the can. Next, here is a question: which block is used to change to a specific costume for an actor? So the answer is B, switch to costume. We will drag and drop this switch to costume block and connect it just below when I receive blues. So when it is getting hit by the can, we will switch the costume to the second costume, which is the dizzy one. Click on next. Now, once that happens, it switches the costume. We are going to wait for 1 second and we are going to stop all. So this is done. Now let's try the code. If it gets hit by a can, we can see that everything is stopped. And also Agent 7 looks dizzy. Let's go back to the slides. So it's time for quick summary. We can see both these blocks help us to change the costume. Both the blocks are used to change any actor's costume. However, switch to costume block changes to a specific costume. However, next costume block changes the costume to the next available costume. So that's the difference. With this, our mission 4 is also completed. Congratulate the students on completing all the 4 missions and to learn the concept of debugging, and appreciate them to identify all the errors and fix those errors. Now it's time for bonus timeout. So we are making the game more interesting by adding a timer to the game. So ask the students, why do we use a stopwatch for? wait for their answers. A stopwatch is used to measure the amount of time to complete a particular task. That could be an exercise or a game. Now moving ahead, we are going to add timer to the code. So for that, we are going to use the timer code block. So let's add the timer to the game to count that for how long Agent 7 lasts in the game without getting hit by the can. So here comes the explore activity. In this explore activity, please send the screen share request to the student and ask them to click on the play button. As soon as they click on the play button, they will see that the gang member is throwing the can, and we can see there is a timer on the top. And here Agent 7 is trying to dodge the cans. However, as soon as it gets hit by a can, we get to see another timer. So let them observe everything, and after that, let's go ahead and ask them what did they observe. So there is a timer on the top left corner which starts running as soon as we play the game. Also, the moment Agent 7 gets hit by the can, we can see another timer at the bottom which says that till what time Agent 7 lasted avoiding the cans. So timer is displayed when the game starts, and a message with time is displayed when the can hits Agent 7. Now it's time for the teacher activity. So in this activity, we will display the timer and we will also display for how long the game lasted. Okay, so first of all, we want to display the timer on the top since the time the game starts. So first of all, we will attach the reset timer block to the on start. Reset timer block helps to reset the time back to 0. Then we want to display the time forever till the time the game is playing. So we will attach the forever block and we will bring the say block inside it. Now this say block will help us to display the timer on the stage on the top corner, and we will attach this timer block in this empty space. So this code block will help us to show the current time in terms of seconds. Now this is done. Let's click on next. And we also want to show another timer which represents that till how long the game lasted. To do that, we are going to take another say block and we will cut below the switch costume, which means that as soon as we receive lose, we switch the costume to the dizzy Agent 7, and then the say block will mention that you lasted for the timer seconds. So we attach the timer here and that's done. Now let's try the code. So we can see that we are able to dodge the cans and the timer is also running. Now let's allow the agent to hit by the can and we can see it's showing that we lasted for 14 seconds. So this is done. Now moving ahead, it's time for the student activity, and student has to repeat the same teacher activity there where they have to add both the timers. Going ahead, this bonus mission is also complete. Appreciate the student to complete the same. Now here we are going to explain the project, which is dodge the spider. Here we have to help Agent 7 reach the other end of the room, avoiding the spider. So just like the cans, here we have the spider and we have to code the project in a way that the spider should have the similar movement as the cans. Again, quick summarization. What is a bug? By now, student will have a clear understanding of what a bug is. Let them explain what is a bug and what is the process of debugging. Allow them to explain these things in their own words. We are again summarizing that fixing the error in a code is called debugging, and the steps for debugging are, you can ask the student to tell the steps of debugging, which is find the bug, fix the bug, and test the code to work correctly. We are also going to summarize the newly introduced code blocks, which is the timer. Timer code block gives how much time in seconds has passed since the timer was last reset, and reset timer block resets the time to 0. Now it's time for the additional activity where we are going to animate the thief. So it's time for the additional activity. In this additional activity, we will add the animation to the gang member. Now, if we click on the settings icon of the gang member actor, we can see that there are two costumes available for the gang member. One is hold can and the other one is throw can. Now, we have to ensure that to show that animation, we are playing these costume in a sequence. So we are going to take the next costume block and we will connect it inside the forever loop. Click on next. Now this is done. Let's try the code. So we can see here that now the gang member is having the animation where he's holding the can and also throwing the can, which can be seen. So we are done with this activity. Let's go further. Additional activity 2. So to make the game difficult to play by dropping the cans faster. So right now we can see the cans are dropping vertically in a very slow speed. We now are going to try to increase the speed here. So let's go ahead. It's time for additional activity 2. Teachers always ensure that additional activities are always supposed to be done by the student. If you complete the class and all the missions before time, ensure to do the additional activity. Now here we are going to make the game difficult. We have to increase the speed of the can. So let's click on next. Here we have to change the value of the move pixel code, which is here. So we are going to change the value. Let's change it to 3. Click on next. So let's try the code. Now we can see that the cans are moving faster and we are able to see both the timers as well. So we are done with the additional activity 2 here. In the next class, we will find the gang leader and nab the ring from him. So we are going to code our program to catch the thief. With that, the class ends here. Teachers, please ensure to explain the project properly and also ask the students to submit all their projects on time. Thank you.